What's going on, fellas? What you're looking at right here is my tertiary pressing day of the week. So third time pressing this week. I did 2 primary overhead press secondary bench sessions, and this is my primary bench secondary overhead. So if you can't tell from the 2-to-1 ratio, focusing more on the overhead than I am on the bench, but still placing some emphasis on the bench for sure. So just warming up here on just plain old benches. What I failed to show was 10 minutes on the wind bike to break a sweat and raise my core body temperature. And then 4 rounds of supersetting dumbbell bench press and lat pull downs, kind of just doing an antagonistic superset with light weight to flush the shoulder joint with blood, move the synovial fluid around, just generally get moving, getting some blood flow, getting a light pump to the pecs has greatly reduced the rate at which I incur pec strains. So that's always been something that I feel necessary to do before I start doing my specific warm-ups. Then I did the couch stretch for my quads and hip flexor, and finally did a little bit of T-spine mobility and started benching. All in all, it took me about 20 minutes, no more, no less. Taking triples all the way up. You just saw 415 for 3. Moved about how it should. Took 470. Kind of had a range today. Wasn't really sure as I didn't sleep very well, so I took a little bit off the range. Ended up moving for a very easy triple as planned. Missed the groove on the second rep, but definitely had a big enough surplus of strength to make it happen. Then I moved on to V-bar pull downs. As I mentioned in the past video, again, there's a good argument to be made that biomechanically these are not that as good as they could be compared to other pull downs or other pulling motions, and there's no reason to use a narrow handle. And just like I said last time, I like them, so I'm going to do them. It's not as if they don't work just because they're not perfectly optimal. Then I moved on to these no back support seated overhead presses. Still easing into these, haven't done these in a few years. Because of the different angle of pressing, my shoulders feel just slightly unstable while I'm doing these. So definitely not going to push into max effort sets too quickly. But I believe last week I hit 2 plates for a set of 4, pretty easy. This week we're scheduled to take triples. So I worked up to a very comfortable triple at 245 pounds, which moved quite well. Definitely got a lot more in the tank here. Going to gradually capitalize on that as I feel it is safe to do so. They're doing a great job building up my core and kind of my mid-thoracic spinal extensors, which will certainly have some positive impact on my regular standing overhead press. And then finally, I moved on to these chest-supported rows. Generally speaking, I don't program set to 20 for many people, but for myself, I've found that for horizontal pulling, really high rep sets have been generally more helpful. And then to end the session, I did a few sets of tricep press downs, as I always train some direct tricep work anytime I'm training pressing compounds. I did some reverse grip barbell curls just to continue rehabbing a little wrist injury. And then I also did some external rotations because both the pec and the lat are internal rotators of the shoulder. Theoretically, I'd like to even that out a little bit. Thank you guys for watching my video.